Harris, thank you so much for watching our Big Ten wide receiver rankings video. Folks, check that one out. Might be disgruntled if you're not an Ohio State fan, but that is not a statistics prediction, folks. What that is just me evaluating who I think are the best wide receivers in the Big Ten, meaning if you're Julian Fleming and you step on campus anywhere else, you will probably be the man. You may not get the targets. You may not get the stats because the two other guys, of course, and then also a running game that actually runs the ball more than you think it does and may even more so this year. So the stats may not be there. I'm not predicting stats. I'm telling you who I believe are the best players at the position. Yes, and Ohio State is loaded. So I've gotten a lot of comments about how biased I am. But for some reason, the bias didn't leak into the running backs video. It was just a bias toward the wide receivers that I had.
Mark, I don't know if this will help you out or not, or just send the bias spiraling out of control. But I said the same thing on the Buckeye Weekly podcast yesterday, that Julian Fleming was anywhere else, and he would be the number one guy, basically. And the reason he's not going to have huge numbers is because of course, of Marvin Harrison and Emeka Egbuka, but you put him somewhere else, and he is that guy. And did you have him like ranked third in the Big Ten or something? Is that
number 3?
Yeah. I mean, who are the arguments? It's not Cornelius Johnson. It's not the number 14 Roman Wilson for Michigan. Like, who are the other arguments? Tell me. Like, who's number 4 on the list that you had?
I had either Jayshon Jones, the Maryland wide receiver.
He's got to stay healthy.
I had him at 4, or I had Keandre Lambert-Smith. I had them next in line in some order. Chris Audman-Bell's been around a long time, but he's not at that level. Yeah. So I think people get that confused. Yes, the 3 best receivers in the conference could be at one school.
I mean, look at the first. Yeah. Look at the, and they should be really with Brian Hartline's recruiting, and it probably isn't going to. When will that change? When Ohio State doesn't have the top 3 receivers, maybe in the Big Ten is another question. But when Julian Fleming was at his healthiest last year, the first 5 games he played, he scored 6 touchdowns. That's, I think, when he's going well and the offense is going well, that's what he can do. Yeah.
What would be an interesting experiment would be. Take the 3 that they signed, the 3 top 8 in the nation, and just let them play, and take Fleming, Egbuka, and Harrison off the field for the season, and see how good those 3 are just straight off of the street, off their high school careers. See how they play. They might still have the best room in the conference.
To answer Sue's question, he can play another year with the he's got his COVID year that he could do, but he's going to do pretty well at the combine. I think he's fast, he's strong. I think he'll put up enough production to where he won't need to come back, but it will be interesting to see if he wants to come back to be that 70 catch guy, because you won't have Marvin Harrison and Emeka Egbuka there.
Absent of any other newsworthy topics right this second, folks, leave your comments and questions there in the chat. And, of course, consider the super chat. We would appreciate that as well. Michael says, well, if you don't have the best quarterback or the best offensive line, so the wide receiver room doesn't matter as much. That is true if those other 2 are the case. Yes, the wide receiver position, I've always said, and it's pretty obvious, this is no visionary statement on my part, that it's the most dependent position on either side of the football. However, when those guys are wide open, your quarterback doesn't have to be quite as good.